This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 29th day of June in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The Guyana police force is being accused of indiscriminately firing tear gas and pellets last evening along the east coast of the Marara during its efforts to clear the roadways of the protesters. Several persons who were not part of the protest and persons in their homes were shot. The police force has not responded to questions about its actions.
They're gonna put it back. I'll just put on your camera. This is all you gotta do. This is all you gotta do. Your people.
Unlock the shop. Unlock the shop.
You don't like a tear glass thing, eh? I want just at you. You could shoot. I want just at you. You could shoot. I tell you. I tell you.
The move by the police last evening followed a day of chaos on the east coast of the Marara during a large protest calling out for justice for Quindon Bacchus, the youth who was shot dead by the police 3 weeks ago. There have been no charges filed in the case, which is still under investigation. But the Guyana police force has reported that a police officer linked to the shooting death remains in police custody. Early yesterday morning, scores of residents blocked the main roadways along the east coast, demanding justice. The protest started in the village of Golden Grove and quickly spread to other villages. At Monoripo, a number of vendors were forced to run from their stalls as a group of persons who were part of the protest set fire to their stalls and looted them. Many vendors were left counting their losses. President Ali, who visited the area, said the vendors will be compensated. And today the vendors were compensated by the government. Both the government and the opposition have condemned the acts of violence and theft that took place during the protests. The family of the slain youth has also condemned the violence and looting, and they've made it clear that the family would never condone such actions and do not want it to be a part of their calls for justice for Quindon Bacchus. The joint services spent last evening and most of today on the roadway, monitoring the situation along the east coast. More news coming up in just a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
The International Building Expo is the only expo of its kind in the Caribbean, fostering homeownership and catapulting the construction sector with innovative and sustainable building practices, creating and advancing linkages among local, regional, and international stakeholders. It's the new frontier for building a One Guyana. The International Building Expo, commencing from July 22 at the Guyana National Stadium. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy.
Doors and windows, Republic. Rooms and more, Republic. A brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Guyana is receiving more profits from oil production than ExxonMobil and its partners in the Stabroek Block. So far, the country has received over $700 million in profit oil and royalty. The royalty is paid by Exxon and its partners and is not recoverable.
Sunshine snacks, cheese balls, grab a sunshine, double cheese balls. We a crunch on a cheese ball, daddy nickel pick, double cheese balls. Sunshine snacks, cheese balls, grab a sunshine snack, cheese balls, stuff cheese in every bite, flavor in every crunch. Extra cheese in me love it so much, love cheese in every bite. Grab a sunshine, double cheese balls. We a crunch on a cheese ball, daddy nickel pick, double cheese balls. Sunshine snacks, cheese balls.
Grab a Sunshine Snacks Cheese Puffs today. More cheese, more flavor.
Get a chance to win a brand new Toyota Race when you apply for a home loan. Get pre-approved by applying online, in bank, or at the Building Expo. Apply now. Promotion ends July 24 and the drawing will take place on the final day of the International Building Expo. Here's your chance to win and drive home a Toyota Race. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Building cement board and sheetrock are now zero rated, following an order signed on May 17, 2022 by Senior Minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh. The zero rated status enables suppliers to reclaim any VAT paid at the time the order was issued, while also ensuring that these materials are sold to consumers VAT-free. For more information, contact GRA's Tax Advisory Services section on 227-6060 extension 8000. Check out our YouTube channel or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn to learn more.
16 men were today charged for allegedly participating in riotous behavior. The 16 appeared at the Cove and John Magistrates Court this morning. 15 of the men pleaded not guilty to the charge and were granted bail in the sum of $15,000. The 16th man, Andrew Sumner, pleaded not guilty and he was fined $20,000. Two 18-year-olds were among those charged. The charges were related to yesterday's protest action on the east coast of Demerara, which saw roads being blocked and stalls at the Monoripo market being looted by some persons who were part of the protest. A Golden Grove man who was a known psychiatric patient was last evening arrested in connection with threats that he made against the life of the president while participating in yesterday's protests along the east coast of Demerara. In a statement this afternoon, the Guyana Police Force announced the arrest of 35-year-old Marvin Richmond. The police said its investigations so far have confirmed that Richmond was treated on several occasions by a psychiatrist. It is unclear whether charges will still be filed against him. The threats were made by the man during a social media broadcast of the protest that started in the village of Golden Grove yesterday. That protest was to seek justice over the police shooting death of Quinton Bacchus. President Irfan Ali said he was made aware of the threat and took it seriously. He's also called for calm and patience as the Police Complaints Authority continues its investigation of the latest police shooting death. A penitent's mother of 5 lost her life this afternoon in an accident on Mandela Avenue involving a motorcycle and a Mercedes-Benz SUV belonging to the prominent Mohammed's business family. The dead woman has been identified as Odessa Sam of Middle Walker Penitence. She was a pillion rider on a motorcycle being operated by her reputed husband Lennox Utkirk when they were hit down by the SUV. The impact of the collision sent both the rider and passenger onto the roadway, with the woman hitting her head against the surface of the road. The rider of the motorcycle, Lennox Utkirk, has since been admitted to the hospital in a critical condition. There are reports that the motorcyclist was attempting to cross over to the other side of the busy 4-lane road when the motorcycle was hit by the SUV, which was reportedly being driven by a female member of the Mohammed family. The driver was spotted at the scene as the police launched the investigations into the fatal accident. There are reports that a young child was also in the vehicle at the time of the crash, but both the driver and the child came out of the accident unhurt. The Guyana Police Force is continuing its probe. Guyana and Brazil will be stepping up cooperation to fight transnational organized crimes. Earlier this week, the two countries signed an agreement for interinstitutional cooperation. Guyana's Minister of Home Affairs, Robeson Ben, signed the agreement on behalf of the government of Guyana. In addition to providing for increased cooperation to combat transnational organized crime, the agreement also seeks to fight and enforce additional preventative measures against illegal narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, terrorism, trafficking in persons, and the smuggling of wildlife, gold, and minerals. It also seeks to address the trafficking of firearms, ammunition, explosives and their parts, money laundering, forgery, and cybercrimes. Additionally, the agreement will also facilitate the exchange of information on public security and measures related to the fight against organized crime. The information sharing objectives of the agreement will also include the exchange of knowledge, expertise, information, technology, research, and scientific development in both countries. In a statement, the Ministry of Home Affairs said the agreement will not only provide building capacities among police officers, but will also foster alliances to allow the two countries to promote the exchange of specialized equipment and technology while developing the exchange of information in accordance with national and international legislation. Guyana and Brazil have shared diplomatic relations for over 55 years and have worked together closely in a number of areas. Let's tell you now that 2 months after the bodies of close friends Richie Hansraj and Justin Teixeira were found in a car in the Marriott parking lot, a toxicology investigation has found that the two men died from cyanide poisoning. In a brief statement today, the Guyana Police Force said the findings also revealed that the two men had a very significant concentration of cyanide in their bodies. Investigators had discovered a bottle with a substance confirmed to be sodium cyanide in the backseat of the car that the two men were found in. While the deaths were investigated as a double suicide, there are reports that investigators were trying to ascertain a supply source for the deadly substance. Hansraj and Teixeira were close friends who vacationed and traveled together. Their deaths devastated their families, who were left with more questions than answers. Teixeira was a flight attendant in the United States, while Hansraj was a religious singer and music producer back here in Guyana. Family members said there were no signs of anything suspicious going on in their lives that would have led to their deaths. Eccles resident Andrew Morgan was this morning charged and remanded to jail over the alleged possession of more than 7 pounds of cocaine. Morgan appeared at a Diamond Magistrates Court and pleaded not guilty to the cocaine trafficking charge. The prosecutor's case is that he was found with a large quantity of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. The bust was made at his Eccles home. The presiding magistrate remanded the accused to prison until the 4th of August, when the matter will continue. Morgan was taken to court this morning under heavy guard from the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit. It was a canoe operation at Morgan's Eccles home on Monday morning that unearthed the cocaine, along with a 9mm gun and matching ammunition. The head of canoe, James Singh, has indicated that separate charges will be filed by the police in relation to the gun and ammunition find. Morgan has long been on the radar of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit. He is the brother of former race car driver Peter Morgan, who pleaded guilty to drug trafficking charges in the U.S. back in 2010. Peter Morgan was deported in 2015 after serving his time behind bars. The Office of the Attorney General has announced that the government will be moving ahead this Friday with the official appointment of the Judicial Service Commission, the Teaching Service Commission, and the Public Procurement Commission. The members of the 3 commissions will be sworn in by President Irfan Ali. The Attorney General said the move to appoint and swear in the members of the commission follow the completion of the constitutional and legal requirements for the setting up of the commission. The appointment of the constitutional commissions requires consultation with the leader of the opposition. The president and the leader of the opposition have met only once, and that meeting did not fully examine all of the issues related to the appointment of the various constitutional commissions. In a statement to News Source this morning, opposition leader Aubrey Norton said while there was agreement on the Public Procurement Commission, the other commissions have not benefited from consultation, and the appointments would be a violation of the law. Prominent attorney at law Nigel Hughes this morning rubbished a report by online news agency Newsroom that his law firm is representing the policeman implicated in the shooting death of Golden Grove youth Quindon Bacchus. In response to the Newsroom article, Mr. Hughes said while the attorney representing the policeman Christophe de Nobrega once worked for his law firm, that attorney has been operating her own practice for more than 2 years. He said the attorney Kezia Williams ceased being an associate of or associated with the firm of Hughes, Fields and Stobie over 2 years ago, and she has practiced as a sole practitioner ever since. The attorney moved to the court last week to file a motion on behalf of the policeman's mother for him to be produced and released from close arrest. The policeman, who has been fingered in the shooting death, has been in custody since the incident more than 3 weeks ago. The Guyana police force on Tuesday stated that the policeman was still in custody but on open arrest. Quindon Backus was laid to rest on Sunday as his family and villagers from his community called out for justice. The protest turned fiery on Tuesday as some persons who were part of the protest torched and looted stalls at the Monorepo market. Some vendors also complained about being attacked and beaten. The family of the dead youth has condemned those incidents.
The International Monetary Fund has thrown its support behind Guyana's plans to bring down electricity costs through the landmark Gas-to-Energy project. This project is being supported by ExxonMobil and is expected to bring great relief to the people of Guyana through a massive reduction in electricity costs.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, it's the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you're feeling. Ole cheesy, too much ripples and more combo pack of flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, it's the best mix, so we feeling best.
Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack, now with a new look and new mix. Grab your pack today.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
Need to apply for a taxpayer identification number or TIN from the GRA? Here is what you'll need: ID, passport or affidavit of identity, and proof of address. This can be a utility or internet bill, renter's receipt, or a mail bearing GPO's official stamp. Provide the original and copy of these along with the completed application form. It costs $1,000 for a new TIN and $2,000 to reprint a lost or damaged TIN. GRA, your partner in development.
Get a chance to win a brand new Toyota Race when you apply for a home loan. Get pre-approved by applying online, in bank, or at the Building Expo. Apply now! Promotion ends July 24 and the drawing will take place on the final day of the International Building Expo. Here's your chance to win and drive home a Toyota Race. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn some day into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, the police in the Bahamas said yesterday that an investigation into the mysterious death of 3 Americans back in May at a resort on the island of Greater Exuma determined that they perished due to carbon monoxide poisoning. The 3 were found unresponsive at the Sandals Emerald Bay Resort. In response to a Reuters request for comment, the Sandals Resort said they have fully supported the investigation into the incident to ensure that they are doing everything possible to learn from the incident. The police said they can confirm that all 3 of the victims died as a result of asphyxiation due to carbon monoxide poisoning. They said the matter remains under active investigation. The Sandals Resort has since announced that carbon monoxide detectors have now been placed in all guest rooms at the resort. In Barbados, Barbados Today reports that the island and the region face the chilling reality that in 20 years, a substantial portion of tourism revenues will be funding the cost of addressing the impact of climate change. The concern was raised by Barbados' Ambassador Extraordinary for Climate Change, Small Island Developing States and Law of the Sea, Senator Elizabeth Thompson, who said that the Caribbean tourism sector earns $24 billion annually, contributing a gross domestic product of between 17 to 90% across the islands. The ambassador said the tourism sector is responsible for 40% of the job market in the region, and that the Inter-American Development Bank is projecting that by 2050 the cost of addressing climate impacts for tourism will amount to $22 million US. Senator Thompson presented the analysis on the impact of climate change on the country's bread and butter industry in remarks to the Barbados Tourism Marketing Second Visit Barbados Stakeholder Forum, which was held recently. And finally tonight, international news. The storm may now be moving in for U.S. singer R. Kelly, who was sentenced to 30 years in jail today for using his celebrity status to sexually abuse children and women. The 55-year-old R&B artist was convicted last September in New York of racketeering and sex trafficking crimes. He had faced years of allegations, and the judge today said he had an indifference to human suffering. Lawyers for the singer, whose real name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, say they will appeal. Ahead of his sentencing, a handful of women took to the stand to confront Kelly. One woman, who identified herself only as Angela, called the singer a Pied Piper who grew in wickedness with every new victim, while others who were not named testified that he had broken their spirits. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.